CFO, we are busy working around that issue. We have to fix that because we even said we are aware that our billing system is not talking directly to what's supposed to happen, especially in the issue of estimates. We cannot forever be able to issue estimates when we bill people because we have to bill properly. As we speak currently, we are working on the issue of meter readings and so forth. The contractors have been appointed there. The last one, Speaker, page 11, that Councillor Mangale alluded to. Let me be quick. I'm sorry to point to Councillor Mangale. Sometimes when we speak, we must be honest to ourselves. That item of IPTN, it will say 0% speak. Because in our last quarter, we said any documentation or any claim that goes to finance is subject for standard operating procedure. If it's not correct, we return it. So as a result, you'll see that 0%. There are buses that are running around and everything. That tells you that there's a movement there. But because as finance, we said we are not accepting this kind of documentation. Therefore, you won't see any movement. Thirdly, the last one, let me indicate, the issue of informal settlement upgrading and partnership. We spoke to the MMC and the HOD relevant because we have appointed the PSPs. They have already started with the process. Come the next quarter, we'll report on the much better improved performance, like we said in the last quarter. So therefore, we should implore on our councillors to say, please, when you read the report, don't read just one report. Read both reports so that they give you a clear indication of what has been happening.
Thank you, Councillor. I gave you extra minute. Councillor Kruger, the last.
Baie dankie, achtbare speaker. Vir hierdie geleentheid. En baie dankie vir my fellow raad finances. In our job very easy. And just to continue where he left off. You see, Honorable Speaker, there's always context to any challenge in informed people. Can I just say in my introduction to say that even the case of Woodlands, it will be, and I can say it on record, that definitely we are going to appeal. We are just busy with legal processes. So even the outcomes thereof will not be implemented immediately, but that will be brought to a special council. I think there is enough said on the Woodlands matter. You see, on collection and to control and contain our expenses to put us in that position. Revenue collection rate is not as per research as the MMC. There was a lack of a permanent GM and a lack of capacity within that department. And that allowed for was redeployed to IPTN, but he has returned after 8 years. That in itself brings back stability and continuity. The department is also embarking on an internal indigenous process, which will also deal with our debtors book. If we solidify, prove on this year. In the next council, we will also bring to council the debt incentive scheme in a quest to motivate our debtors to pay for services rendered. Our service provider was appointed to accelerate the installation of water collection, debt collection. We are aware of the almost 50% vacancy rate in municipality, and it will have the ripple effect on what our employees should deliver on. Since our term in office has started as this council, I have never seen an item to write off debt that is one process to cleanse our books equally. That in itself changes the picture that was created by the former speakers on this item. If we look at grant spending, Honorable Speaker, business plans should be submitted to National Treasury for approval before grants are granted to us. The new financial year started on the 1st of July, 2023. Business plans were only approved towards the end of August, meaning we technically had 1 month in September to spend our grants for the first quarter, then 2%, and currently it is now at 29%, which is still not where it is supposed to be, but we can see there is an improvement because we would have wanted to be at 50% in our second quarter. City manager also established war rooms to zoom in on the following: just to name a few, on our revenue collection, our water losses. I'm just mentioning the few things that puzzled me and pained me as the MMC for Finance. And this is the report I got back to say, city managers embark on establishing these war rooms to deal with revenue collection, water losses, and also acceleration plans on grant spending will be monitored by oversight committees on a monthly basis now to ensure that our grants are being spent as per the procurement plans. Oversight committees will also closely monitor the implementation of the financial recovery plan. And over time, as was mentioned already by the Whip for Finance.
Baie dankie die agbare raadslid.
Dankie, agbare Speaker.
Your date is verby.
Dankie, Speaker.
Thank you. Councillors, I think this brings us to the end of the debates on this item. May I now see hands of those who are in favor of the recommendations as they are. Let me quickly read them, go through them once again. It is recommended that in compliance with section 72, subsection 1A of the MFMA, that the accounting officer submits to the executive mayor this statement reflecting the implementation of the budget and the financial state of affairs of the municipality for the 6 months ending 31st December 2023. B, the executive mayor and council should note and evaluate the reported assessed municipal mid-year financial performance against the budget for the 2023-2024 financial year. C, in order to comply with section 71, subsection 4 of the MFMA, the accounting officer ensure that this statement be submitted to the National Treasury and the Provincial Treasury in both a signed document format and in electronic format. D, based on the assessment of the performance as indicated above, it is recommended that an adjustment budget for the financial year 2023-24 be compiled and tabled before council for consideration after approval of the midterm report. May I now see hands of those who are in favor of the recommendations as read? Oh. Okay. Okay, those against? Thank you. Those in favor is 49. Those against is 3. Abstentions is 27. The recommendations are carried. Thank you. May we now proceed to item 9.5, which is the report on the implementation of supply chain management policy for the quarter ending December 2023. May I now see hands of those who would want to speak on this item? Councillor Kotze, Moreng, sorry, Councillor Mungale, Councillor Vivier, Councillor Peter, in that order, or Councillor Supi, in that order. Thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Kotze.
Thank you, Chairperson. The Auditor General report today stated that irregular expenditure of 198 million was incurred due to non-compliance with supply chain management requirements for the 2022-2023 financial year. Residents of Mangaung has been complaining of their water accounts received during the month of January. They claim that they received estimated accounts for the months of October, November and December 2023 after they sent their water meter readings via email to the municipality as requested. This month, they received accounts exceeding the readings that they have submitted. In this report, it states that Mcheletini Fofota Investments received a tender for the procurement of water meter reading services, conventional and prepaid meters, cleaning of water meter audit services as the need arises. I did some research on the company, and this company does not have a website, and I could not find any contact details for this company. But he is located in Johannesburg, and the sole director is Mr. Pulusho Akape Maluka. He's also the director of a funeral parlor and a trading company. Councillors, last year I asked questions regarding a tender for emergency door-to-door refuse collection to the value of 13 million rand. The contractor I just mentioned were also one of the successful contractors to share in this tender. Here's my clarity-seeking question. Give us more details on the request for quotation that were advertised for bid 685 for the financial year 2023-2024. And please give more detail on the service level agreement of this contractor. Now, colleagues, fellow councillors, emergency door-to-door collection was a disaster a year ago. Now, this municipality has more than 300,000 accounts. So how is this company going to audit water meter readings? And there's already questions raised. So through you, Chairperson, if the City Manager can just respond to this clarity-seeking question. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Moraine.
Re ke lebohe motsamaisi wa dipuisano. Chairperson, ekare re le Mangaung Metro re lebetse hore nang human dignity e bolela eng hammoho le bophelo bo botle bakeng sa baahi ba rona. Chairperson, ha o sheba report e re fuweng ho ya page 28 e batlile e ba le reflection e tshwanang le report ya kotara ya ho feta. Me ke la ka ema kwano ke a hlalosa ka mokgo e ne sa tshwara hantle ka teng le ka mokgo ne beuwe ka teng ho ya ka ditekanyo ka bonyetso tse ne di entswe ka hare ho tokomane eo. DP, I've read through this report and I've once again have a legal concern. I've raised this issue of pit toilets before and also submitted a Rule 38 question as permitted by our standing rules and orders. During the meeting that was held in September 2023, I raised a question regarding the enormous amount of money we used to pay external service providers, of which some of the people that were paid those money had mysterious companies that supplied a lot of unidentified goods to the municipality, including emptying of pit toilets. We have in the months of December 2022, 14 million rands just for emptying the toilets. And now I'm talking about only in Tabanchu. These figures does not even include the emptying done in the past quarters. And now that tells you that the municipality has paid even over 50 million of rands just on emptying those toilets. We are not prioritizing the eradication of these toilets, because we are still paying an enormous amount of money externally for the job that could have been done internally. We have fleet and we have personnel that is paid to do that. DP, The September 2023 report stated that we had fleet. We beefed up our fleet. And I won't be surprised, those 2 trucks have been broken since last year, November, and are still at the workshops waiting for repairs. That is if that will happen, because we keep on paying external service providers and we are unable to fix our own fleet. The question remains, what efforts has the municipality taken to ensure that this issue of pit toilets that cost us millions to maintain is addressed? To address this issue, has always made a plea and inputs regarding the eradication of these toilets. If they did have ward councillors, they will attest to this. Hence, we have been staying in those areas for more than 30 years without toilets. And I know apartheid will be blamed in that regard. And in Tabanchu, I don't think we have that. But yet again, this IDP, it seems as if it's just been used as a box-ticking exercise. Haebe ke bua maka motsamaiso wa dipuisano. Ke hobaneng ka jeno nna motho a tlang Thabanchu la tlang Botshabelo. Ha re ya toilet, be ntse re bona mantle a rona mo ra sileng teng. Residents of Mangaung, can I give them a chance to speak, Speaker? There's somebody who has read the document more than I have.
Councillor's order, please. Can you allow the councillor to speak?
The problem is that residents of Mangaung, on the 3rd and 4th of February, you are presented with an opportunity to register and re-register correctly to redeem yourselves from the 30 years of empty promises. Make sure that this year be the end of better life for comrades, but a year that will together rebuild South Africa and Mangaung. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Councillor Mongale.
Thank you for the opportunity, because there is a question that has been raised over and over again when we are discussing this issue of supply chain. The issue of the qualification of the manager in the supply chain, Mr. Mlaba, whereby it has been found that he does not have the relevant qualification. But this council have not been afforded with an opportunity to say that allegations were not true. Here the document that proves that he has the relevant qualification. Simple as that, ABC. The issue of the budget of Mangaung, including the supply chain, we discussed it in the previous sittings, and we even got assurance from the then acting mayor, Tate Gregory Masala, and Tati to the people of Mangaung. He never meant what he said, because if indeed this budget was dedicated to the people of Mangaung, could not have been seen a lot of companies. It is crystal clear. There is an option of stating whether the company is from Mangaung or not Mangaung. You can see them on this document. When you go to page 4, you see them. Page 5, you see them. Page 6, you see them. Page 7, you see them. Page 11, page 17. Now, when the pages go up, they become worse. Once you are going to enjoy this economy of Mangaung, I'm appealing to the deputy mayor in the absence of the mayor to say the budget of Mangaung must be for the people of Mangaung. Because during election, you don't go to Gauteng. You don't go to KwaZulu for a seat in Mangaung. Now, why do you want to use people of Mangaung jaka nchazama kesi batsama balo tshwara muka abaketa tshwara muka na maijo a kelona alketa go kona le ba fa masapo. This thing must come to an end. It's an abuse of the people of Mangaung. It is not reason. It is a constitutional obligation. Because when you vote and you are voting in Mangaung, you are even restricted to say you are going to vote at a particular ward. And you don't say it's regionalism. You understand it is a constitutional obligation. So why during harvest time you don't want people to enjoy the benefit, but during the sowing and the hunting, is then that we call them in to say, we must work together and try to find a way of working together as a community. People of Mangaung put us back to power. When you get to back to power, you remember your cousins and relatives somewhere in Gauteng and Mpumalanga that needs to come and enjoy the benefit at the expense of people who have voted for you. We say this must come to an end. Enough is enough. I'm also happy that the mayor, Grigory Ntatisi, didn't express an opinion. He has chosen to abstain on this document. So he has not accepted this document. You have not read it. I know some will howl me, but on page 43, he's very clear. He has abstained. You must check page 43, you'll see he has abstained. So it means he's not expressing an opinion. He's not supporting or not supporting. That is where we are now. Now, all I'm asking is that groups consent in trying to participate in the economy. But they are not enjoying the benefit of that economy. Instead, it is being enjoyed by people from outside. We say, give them opportunity. Those who don't have capacity, make them aware before the project can start that there will be a particular project that will be coming the next coming 2 years. Prepare your company so that they can be able to be eligible to apply for those tenders. Don't ambush people and say you don't have qualification, chief. You don't have qualification. We need people with capacity here. That English is outdated. It's 30 years into democracy. That English has got no sechunguga.
Alright, ra leboha e fedile nako ya ho ntate Mogale.
Ke lebetse nako mphileng yona.
Councillor Vivier. Sorry, Councillor Vivier. I noted you, Councillor Vivier. Proceed.
Speaker, this report once again is only a reflection of the mismanagement of the ruling party. At least service providers will be appointed to install the prepaid water meters, as the Metro is currently losing millions of rands due to illegal water connections, prepaid connections that are bypassed to the system, and also non-collection on accounts. The Freedom Front Plus would suggest that this process be handled in-house, as it will also be ideal if the entire system moves to prepaid water. The Metro appointed several companies, service providers, for the maintenance and repair services, as well as the plumbing at the Mangaung Municipality at the MMM building. Why is the Mangaung workers not doing this? Why do we as a Metro have to appoint companies to do the services? A mechanic can surely service maintenance its own car. Once again, the appointment of service providers are unacceptable, as my previous colleagues also mentioned that it's not even companies from the Free State, it's companies from Gauteng. All these services can be done in-house. In this way, the Metro can also provide employment for the overpopulated, unemployed citizens.
Thank you, Somlo. I'm tempted to respond to Councillor Mogale, but let me take this opportunity and direct this question or this response to the accounting office. I think it's incorrect for Ndate Mogale to publicly say it's done by your office as the accounting officer, nobody else. On this matter, on this report that we are presenting here, the particular issue there, they've got right to write to you either in a form of Rule 38 question or so that you give response to that. So it cannot be proper. That must be addressed. Cannot be. It says between the month of November and December, there were no bids that were advertised. It's precisely because we have a system shutdown, adverts or bids and so forth. But most of the bids that we have here, that those that were advertised before we have in that particular problem of system or server. And in the main, you'll see mostly there is different kind of panels that were appointed. This speaks exactly to what the Auditor General said at some point, to say that we are supposed to put some systems in place. So based on this report, it responds directly to that, to say we have appointed and so on and so on and so on. Secondly, we need to indicate in that period under review, Supply chain couldn't even make a revenue because normally through these bids, we make revenue by selling them. We couldn't do it because we couldn't advertise. So as a result, we couldn't do that, including your inventory list and so on. We couldn't do that assessment precisely because our systems were off. We are forced to appoint a company that is dealing with our insurance because we couldn't wait for the system to come. But in terms of the supply chain policy, city manager, this SCM is required. They can do that actually. Secondly, or lastly, there are a number of deviations. I know some councillors were having concerns, executive mayor or city manager. I think you are the only person who can approve the deviations based on number of reasons. You could see some, they were saying that or a particular service, you can also speaker that most of the departments, we need to report because we said that in our section 8. Most of the directorates or departments, at least this time, they managed to comply. They were able to stick to their, demand plan and so forth. So that's why when you look at this particular report, it's better compared to the previous quarter report that we submitted in council. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Supi, you're the last.
Thanks, Speaker. Speaker Adibua, il est referral to the document. I give the document and a tocomanie, a council among I get the happening the Kazaka Dimpola Sindri. What is this implication thereof? I may only write the a guy up over the gas, but fell away sign. Yabedi, Speaker. Officials that US policy dictate submitted their demand plans. Your act has been prepared, comply with the selection for this council to know this second quarter ending December 2023. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor. I think this concludes the debate on this item.
Exercise any of the two. So those who live in glass houses must not throw stones. In fact, you are helping the meeting to understand what he did. Thank you very much.
Your point of order is dismissed, Councillor. The executive mayor submitted all his items in the manner in which they've been submitted. He would have chosen to take us into confidence if he was not in support of that recommendation. This brings us to the end of, let me just conclude, councillors, does not take away the fact that these items were submitted by the mayor, fully knowing that the additions or the report as contained. Item 10, I will note, hence,